So, so after my dad died, my husband's physically abusive. My sister and my mom moved without telling me. Again, there was that stuff going on too. My mom and my sister are kind of narcissistic as well, but they leave the state without telling me. Okay, and I get my ribs cracked just before they left. What had happened was I left the job because I was going to go, and I took a job at a hospital to be a patient care tech because I like the medical field. I like caring for others. And Neil did take the job I left vacant. My sister got him that job. He got fired. Again, second job in a row. Got fired. My sister quits and gets a job with another refinery in another state, and my mom and sister move, and I'm by myself in Oklahoma now, which I never wanted to move to in the first place. And my kids are mad at me, blaming me we're there instead of in Plano when there's no way in hell we could afford to live there. The dad lost his computer programming job, and like I was only a CNA. What the hell, you know? I moved us up there because my sister got me a job, and I wanted to make sure everybody ate for, 3 squares a day. Anyway, so my sister and my mom moved out of state. I'm with Neil, who's very hateful and being physically abusive. I leave. I left. And, well, I don't know what he was doing, but I packed up my stuff and I left. And I went to the domestic violence shelter. And because I was actually scared of him at that point. He was so hateful. Hateful. And they got me into a program where I could live rent-free for a year, and got me into FOSTA and got me into a nursing program for a year. And the 2 younger kids came and lived with me. Neil finally found a job for a cable company. I wasn't working because nursing was full-time, and then I had the kids at night. So I asked Neil for, I didn't need much because I wasn't paying rent. I had cashed my 401k from when I was working before as a patient care tech at a big hospital in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I had bought a car, so I didn't have a car payment. I didn't have rent or utilities. I just needed money for food, and Neil refused to pay. For people who are watching this who know who we are, go ahead, go online to Oklahoma, County Supreme Court, Oklahoma Supreme Court Network, and you can see that I had to file a case against him for child support in 2013 because he wouldn't pay me any. And so the court ruled in my favor. I got $500 a month for the 2 kids so I could feed them. And that's mainly where the money went, was buying clothes and food for them. And I went to school for a year and became a nurse, and child support I didn't have to pay anymore because I was making more money than him by then. I just needed him to help me feed the kids so I could get through nursing school. But I finally became a nurse at 43, even though I'd wanted to be a nurse since I was 5, because I finally left an abusive person and happened to find programs that helped me. And I took advantage of those, and now they were tax-based and paid by taxpayers, and I'm happy to say that since I became a nurse in 2014, with the amount of money I'm making, I have more than paid that back with my own taxes. More than paid that back. Now, Neil lost his job again with the cable company. And the kids, I was like, hey, you got to do your charge. You can't do this. You can't do that. I was strict. Maybe too strict. I don't know. I was strict. He was more lax. You can have your friends over. You don't worry about chores. So the 2 younger kids wanted to live with their dad. And in the meantime, I lost my own job. And because of nepotism, it was a job in a small town. And I went to the state where my mom and sister were because we were speaking again Anyway, and that didn't work out with my mom in particular. And so I came back and I did stay with Neil briefly because we were getting along. And I bought a house in my own name with my job, money from a job, a nursing job I got back in here in Oklahoma. Neil stayed in the house he was renting with the kids, and I bought my house, bought a nice new car, and I was living a pretty good life. The kids, by this point, one had gotten her own apartment, my oldest, Rachel, and my youngest daughter had gone into college. I paid my taxes. Neil never did. So she went on FOSFA that I was making sure she could get, paid my taxes. She used me for her FOSFA and went to school, got her bachelor's. But my sons stayed with Neil. And at one point, they were like, Mom, let Dad stay with you temporarily. We want to get our own place. We can't stand living with Dad. So, Neil and I were getting along, and my stupid ass thought, well, the things we fought over before were me going on to school and bettering my life and getting a career. I already got it. We're not going to fight over that anymore. The other issues we tended to fight over was disciplining the children. I liked structure and discipline. Love, but structure and discipline, and Neil's kind of like, let them do whatever they want. So we kind of butted heads. And religion, and I had a different view on religion, as did he. He finally come out as an atheist, told me he never believed in God, which meant when we were dating and he said he was a Christian, he lied. Yeah. He didn't believe in God, never has. Okay, cool. He said, I loved you so much, I wasn't going to say anything. Yeah, I guess. But point is the issues over me going to school and getting a career already arguing over disciplining the kids, and the kids were grown. Us arguing over money. I had my own money. I was going to keep my own money. He could keep his own money. We weren't going to fight over money. He liked to spend. I liked to save. Okay, I'm the tight ass. Okay, I admit it. I didn't like sitting in a room watching TV and my lights go out because my husband didn't pay the electric bill because he always ran the finances. So when I got a job and I was on my own, I took over my own money, my own budget. So we weren't going to argue over money anymore because I had my own money. So we weren't going to argue over me going to school and getting a career. I had it. We weren't going to argue over the kids and discipline. They were grown. We weren't going to argue over money because I had my own. We weren't going to argue over religion, which we didn't. It's not that we argued, but he let me know he didn't believe, and I wasn't going to push it on him. I don't care. You don't believe. I had kind of lightened up since when I was 17 or 18. And I let him back in, and we were roommates for a while, and then once again, I got love bombed. And see, that's the thing. Every time we'd split up because I had enough of his coldness, suddenly he was Mr. Charm, Mr. Love, Mr. what I thought he was when we were dating, and I was wanting him to be, and that happened again, and that set the final stage of this marriage. We reconciled again with his love bombing, and it led to the final end of our relationship.